Hey everyone, Dave here. Welcome to a new Raid Shadow Legends video. In this video, I want to talk to you about my budget Unkillable comp that I built for the Acrisia account, explain theoretically how the budget Unkillable team work, why I went with that team, and why I'm calling it Super Ultimate Budget Unkillable. Before we start talking about this, I have an explanation to make about the giveaways that we've done on Friday because there was a bit of confusion there. If you watch the video and then if you monitor the comment, you'll see that one of the subscribers, and I'll explain how this happens, reached out to me on both YouTube on the video. He made a comment and also on Discord, on the channel Discord, saying that he saw in the videos that he was picked as the winner, but then I kept saying people are not subscribed and I chose another winner for the account. I completely understand how frustrating and disappointing this can be if you thought you are this close to winning such a good account and then suddenly someone else is chosen. So how this works, let me show you this. This is a screenshot from like the channels. I hope you can see it. Yeah, so there is a privacy option that YouTube introduced, I'm not sure how long ago, but if you go to your YouTube settings and if you go here to privacy, yeah, it's visible. And that option, in a lot of situations, this is turned on by default, where my mouse is hovering here, keep all my subscription private. This means that when you subscribe to YouTube channels, it's not showing, the channel owner, like myself, will see the number of subscribers, but they won't see your explicit name there when they check the subscriber list. And that's what's happening with me. Like right now, we have over 400 subscribers on the channel, thanks to all of you. But when I go check my subscribers list by name for giveaways to check whether someone is subscribed or not, I can only see like 150 people there. So that's why if you have this option turned on, any channel owner won't be able to see whether you are subscribed to the channel or not. They won't see your name. Of course, I'm not doing any further giveaways, at least in the foreseeable future on the channel. We'll focus on content. But if you're entering a giveaway on any other channel, make sure that this option is turned off. So when they are checking for subscribers, they can clearly see your name there and you won't miss your chance of winning this. If I would have known this before I made the choice and before I did that last giveaway, I would have highlighted it clearly, but it was just brought by my attention by this subscriber, and I'm really sorry. I know how frustrating and disappointing this is for him, but yeah, I hope I explained why it happened. And going into the future, well, not right now, but if I'm doing any further giveaways, I'll make sure to mention this going forward. Okay, let's jump into the Unkillable team here. What I will do, and as I do with most of like these a little bit longer videos where there's some explanation of how things are happening in game, I'll put the time code in the description below. I put the time codes, yes, in the description below, so you can jump back and forth. So you can skip that theoretical part if you wish, but I highly encourage you not to skip it because especially with the budget Unkillable teams, there are certain points that you should know, building your own. So if the team is not working properly and if the stun is falling on the wrong team member, you would know why this is happening and you can tune the numbers, the stats of your champs up or down till you achieve, till you make the team working, basically. So I encourage you to stay tuned and not to just skip to the numbers. Okay, first thing first, where do we get our... I've spoken about this a little bit before on the previous clan boss videos, deadwoodjedi.com. I hope you're seeing the link. I'll also put this link in the description as well of the video. If you go to speed tune list, you'll see different tunes for different champs or speeds and a lot of factors here of how to make your clan boss comp. This one is called in the channel, that's where I got it from, ultimate budget unkillable, and it's made by Keban DK and Bobo. Bobo is one of the big brains of the game, involved in a lot of these tunes and stuff. And I'll tell you why this one is a huge improvement over the budget unkillable teams that we used to do maybe 2 years ago. Even on my main account, when I first got a man eater and a painkeeper, till I got that second man eater, I was doing a budget unkillable team. How budget unkillable team works. Let me explain this, and like I said, this can be very useful to you to understand how it works and tune yours if it's not working properly. The clan boss has 3 hits, okay? Two of them are AoE, he hits the whole team, and the third one is a single target hit that has an unresistible stun, okay? The only way of resisting that stun if you have block debuffs on the champ receiving the stun at the time, okay? So when you're building your clan boss team, whether it's a traditional team or an unkillable one, you want to guide the clan boss to whom you want him to hit with that stun. Well, by the clan boss, I mean the game AI, the game formula and algorithm there. Because the thing is, there are certain factors deciding which one from the team the clan boss would hit. So the clan boss would hit someone who like would think is the weakest in the team. How is this determined? One of the factors is that, for example, weak affinity plays a major factor there. Percentage HP lost. So, for example, if a champ has only 10% of his or her HP, so the clan boss thinks they are too weak and he can kill them with the stun and he will go for the champ. Also, the champ with the lowest defense with the least number of buffs. All of these are factors. It's a very complex algorithm. So, what we're doing with the budget unkillable, why I'm saying all of this, why I'm saying that introduction here, because in more advanced, not more advanced, but like, let me put it like this. In unkillable comps, whether it's block damage or unkillable buff, that has two unkillable champs, like two man eater. You start doing these with two man eater, with a Roche card and Warcaster, with two Roche cards, with Cernic and someone else. So basically, you have two unkillable champs. So you're sure, regardless of whether it's the single target stun or the AoE hit, that every time the clan boss is about to take a hit, all of the team is covered by either block damage or the unkillable buff. So they won't die. All unkillable teams die at around turn count 50 because beyond turn 50, the clan boss just ignores the unkillable or block damage buffs. And when he kills someone, he blocks revive. So if you have a reviver on the team, it won't help. Okay. So your target is to stay alive till turn 50 to do as much damage as you can. If we're talking traditional teams, that's very hard to do without unkillable because starting turn count 20, the clan boss starts hitting harder and harder, and it ramps up that it's almost like you won't be able to survive it either with a very tanky team, with shields and a life protect, or with unkillable. So, like I'm saying, unkillable teams with two champs on the team make sure that everybody's covered with unkillable, and even in a double man eater teams, they are covered with both unkillable and block debuffs. So you don't care where the stun lands. If you manage to get like beyond, because there is a setup, like you do a couple of turns on manual and then you leave it to the AI. When the team becomes in tune, what do we mean by that? Is that the team is always covered by unkillable and block debuffs, so it doesn't matter where the clan boss hits. You are surviving to turn 50 anyway. When you're doing budget unkillable, and why we're doing it budget, if we check the team comp here, you have only one man eater and one painkeeper. Man eater has that unkillable comp for 2 turns or maybe a 3 turn cooldown. Let's check it actually, just to make sure. I'll go through the champ speeds and everything. So that's on a 3 turn cooldown. Yes, I just wanted to make sure I'm accurate there. So Painkeeper resets it, decreases the cooldown by 1 turn. What does that mean? That there is a single turn where the team will not be covered by the unkillable buff. So if the clan boss hits anyone who's not covered, because Here, if you notice, like it's high speeds and you're trying even for the slower champs to stack accuracy and damage on them to achieve these numbers, so they are weak. So beyond turn 10 or 15 or whatever, when in that specific turn, the stun turn, they will not be covered because, like I said, we're using one champ for unkillable. He won't have his unkillable back by this time. How do we counter this? How do we make sure that the team survive and those weaker champs will not get hit by this hit? By having a stun target, and that's what we're seeing in the screen here. If you notice the speeds, the fastest on the team, of course, are Maneater and Painkeeper, and then we have two DPS, two damage dealers with medium speeds, and we have a stun target who should be very slow. Why is that? Because he will take one less turn compared to other champs. So when we get to that third turn, when the whole team will be without the unkillable buff, he will be the only one that still has it. Okay, so what's left here when we're tuning the team? We want to make sure 100% and when this turn comes, the clan boss will hit this champ who still has the unkillable buff and not anyone else. If he hits anyone else, he will kill them and the run is over. Okay, how do we control this? It's all mentioned here. Like, if you think this is too complex to figure out, don't worry. People figured it out already here and it's stated clearly. It's good to read this, but I'll put like a very brief summary also in the description and in the first comment. I'll make it pinned. And I'll walk you through how to guide that stun always to that slow target. So it's here. I'll talk about this a bit later, but let's go down to that specific piece. Okay. What's being said here? Okay. If you remember that I talked about a couple of minutes earlier, uh, who does the clan boss chooses to hit with that stun with that single target? Someone with the least amount of HP percentage wise. So not the least amount HP in absolute, but like someone who has 10%. Like if he sees someone with 10% HP, another one with 15%, probably he'll go for the 10% HP. So Painkeeper on her A2 heals the whole team based on her HP. Okay, so what you want to do here is that you want to make sure that the stun target got the most HP in the team, and then Painkeeper, just to keep that in tune, should come second in that. Okay, so for example, if he got like 40, then, and it's explained here by some examples, then Painkeeper should be like 35k, and everyone else should be less than this. Okay, so note that it's not specific numbers. You can build it with 50 and 45, whatever your gear will help you to do. But this is very, very important. Your stun target, your slow champ, should be should has the most HP and a little bit higher than Painkeeper, so that when she heals everyone, she will heal him, but he will have the least percentage of HP. What is the second major factor here? And it's only those two, so it's not 100 things to take care of. Stun target's defense should be as low as possible, several hundred lower than everyone else in the team. Okay, this is extremely important too. Those two factors are the most important ones, and I'll talk about a couple of other things later on, because defense, clan boss takes defense into consideration, choosing who to hit. So he should have most HP, least defense by a couple of hundred. Like you cannot have like 1900 defense on him and like 1950 on someone else. That 50 margin might not be enough for the algorithm to choose the stun target always. You want him to be like 1900 and everyone else to be 2k and above, 2000 and above. Okay, so that's the second important factor. Okay, like I was saying, one of the major factors that clan boss determines who to hit is the affinity. The clan boss has 4 affinities. So if the clan boss has more than 50% HP, it's always void. When the clan boss reaches 50% HP, it changes to one of the 3 affinities: magic blue, spirit green, and force red. Okay, each one of these got weak and strong affinities against. Like, I hope you know this by now. If we go to any like arena battles, that's strong and weak affinities here. So you want to make sure building this that your two damage dealers, as it said here, it's better for that stun target to be either void, so you won't keep changing it, you won't build too many champs, or weak affinity to the clan boss. And those two DPS, you have to build actually four champs so that you're changing them based on affinity. For example, if you build them to magic or blue champs here, uh, that compost will remain the same on magic, on void, and on spirit. But when it comes to force, and they are weak affinity now, you have to replace them by two spirit champs who are strong affinity against force, so the comp will remain working as planned. So here to each of one affinity or two stun targets, or you can change the stun target. So you'll either, and this is where it becomes complicated, and that's why I'm calling you. That's why I'm telling you I'm calling my comp the ultimate, super ultimate one, because this is ultimate. I had a little bit extra there because the thing is, you either have two stun targets or you have four DPS champs to alternate there. So when I was building my champs, I thought that what is the only situation where we don't need to do this? It's if all of them are void. So they are always neutral, it would work exactly the same. Of course, a major factor here, these are fixed. Do you have three champs that will work well in a clan boss comp to achieve the numbers? Because at the end of the day, you need 70 million damage across at least 4 keys. You get 4 keys per day to get, so you need to achieve those 70 million with 4 keys. You need roughly around 20 or 18 million per key. If you have champs that are not doing enough damage or your gear is not good enough, yeah, maybe you'll get the second chest, but our purpose is top chest on Ultra Nightmare. Okay, so if you have three void champs to fill in these slots, you're all set there and you can achieve those keys. And that's what happened in my case. I'll show you a screenshot of the damage and it's more or less the same. So, and then I'll show you the build. We'll do a run first. I'll talk about how it's happening in the run, and then I'll show you the champ builds and what I've achieved there. Okay, so this is my team. I hope you can see it. Yeah, let me just move myself a little bit to show you bulwarks damage, and then I'll just move back. Okay, yeah. So let's talk about this. This is an easy 3 key on Ultra Nightmare, which is good for my level of account. Account level 60 something, I'm still farming gear. With enhancement, I think this can very easily be 2 key Ultra Nightmare, and then I'll have the other keys for the other difficulties. Why I chose these champs? So like I said, first things that came to mind, I need this team to be all void, so I don't need to build like 2 stun targets or 4 DPS champs. I want this team fixed as much as it is for all affinities. I had Acrisia already built, you know this is my lucky Acrisia account, and I got Maneater and Painkeeper to build, so I needed to choose 2 other void champions. One of them needed to be the stun target, the slowest one. So in the last Voids 2x, I got a couple of Voids after I recorded the video, but I pulled Akmetum, who's one of the very strong epics, beating dungeons and a lot of other areas in the game. And this cat puts a lot of poisons out, so it's a good candidate for clan boss. So that was one option for me. I do have other champs that are non-void champs that can do more damage than this, but I didn't want to build too many because now I'm working on Doom Tower teams and on my faction wars to get Lydia. So I didn't want to waste too many chickens and champs and energy into the clan boss team. So Akmetum was an easy option there with the poison it's putting out. So now I needed a slow stun target. Bulwark for such a long time He's one of the excellent rares in the game. Was my stun target for my budget unkillable when I used to do that on my main account. Why Bulwark is so good there? Because he's perfect. Let me just show you his skills. He's perfect for that specific role. So if we go down to the dwarf and rares, here is our Bulwark. He got a passive. Look at this. When attacked, 30% chance of extending the duration of all the buffs on the attacker. So he puts HP burn on his A2, and he puts the small version of weaken, which will help us increase the damage, on his A1. Akmutum puts out poisons. Acresia might put decreased defense. So if you make him the stun target, and I put him in the lead of the team to make sure that even the probability of him getting hit is higher, every time the clan boss hits him, he got a chance, a 30% chance of increasing the poison, the HP burn, the weaken, all the buffs on the clan boss, the duration. So he is an excellent target for the stun. What's the only problem with this is that he's a defense-based champ, so if your damage dealers are attack-based, you will struggle a little bit gear-wise to make him the lowest defense in the team. Okay, but it's achievable. I achieved it. My gear level on this Acresia account is not crazy. If I can do it, probably you can. Okay, so let's go through the team. Like this is another key I've done today within the same range. I'll show you how the team setup goes. We'll do the run while talking about it, and then I might speed the video till after the run or edit it, and then I'll show you the builds and how I achieved what's in Deadwood Jedi's like page with the champs I have. So you see I had Bulwark as lead, like I said, uh, because only to make sure that he gets the hit. So we start with Maneater A3 and Painkeeper A1. There is a bit of manual setup for Ultra Nightmare and Nightmare, and it is on the website. For the other champs, like for Akmutum, Acresia, and Bulwark, it doesn't matter which skills to use. The only ones you want is Man-Eater and Painkeeper. You want to make sure that these are in sync, specifically Man-Eater's A3 and Painkeeper's A2 and A3. So when we're doing here and to bring that team in sync, what we need is to do Man-Eater A3, and then it doesn't matter, it will become in sync before he gets back to it, and then Painkeeper A1, A2, A1. Okay, so another A1 here, and it's O2. What you'll notice here, and that's totally fine, it's within the calculation that the stun will fall on our stun target and he will get stunned for the only time in this round, which is completely fine. It's all taken into consideration. Now Painkeeper does the reset, and then Man-Eater does his Unkillable for 2 turns. From here now on, the team would work perfectly. So you'll see I'll keep it for a couple of turns to show you that it's working here. So this turn, everyone is covered by Unkillable. Painkeeper did her heal there. And then in the next turn, you see here, the stun will fall on our stun target. Perfect, he's the only one covered by the Unkillable comp. That's exactly what we need to do. What I'll do now is that simply I will just wait till he gets another stun to show you that it's working, and then I will just cut the video and come back towards the end to show you that it's still working till turn 50, and to show you that the damage is consistent, 3 key on Ultra Nightmare with that level of gear, which is not crazy at all. Like I said, there is huge room of improvement, and this can easily be a 2 key team. So you see here, again, everybody is uncovered and the stun falls on Bulwark again. Okay, like I said, I'll get back when the round is almost done towards turn 50 to show you that it works till turn 50 and that the damage is what we want it to be. So we're back now, and if you notice, we're almost up to the 50 and the last stun just fell on our Bulwark. The other team is working perfectly. And you notice that this run is a bit on the lower side, so we might end up with like 24 million, but it's still okay. This is still a comfortable 3 key, which is exactly what we need. I haven't tried this team on Nightmare yet because I just finalized it yesterday. I think it will be. No, I'm not sure if it's going to be um, able to just like 1 key Nightmare, but I will show you if I saved someone. I'll show you on the saved the screenshot. I'll show you in the next video. The important thing at this level is to get to uh, the top chest Ultra Nightmare, and then if you can get top chest Nightmare too, that's fine. If not, then you wait till you add the Ascension, you add more damage on the champs, so that you got enough keys to achieve your main goal all the way towards end game with this top chest, Ultra Nightmare, top chest, Nightmare. You'll get a lot of shards, you'll get good gear, you'll get a lot of good stuff there on a daily basis, which is the best resources you can get into the game. Okay, now let's get into the builds and I'll show you the most important ones first. So, our stun target. Any gear, it doesn't matter what sets. The only important thing to avoid, you don't want reflex, you don't want relentless, you don't want immortal set, because the thing is you don't want anything to give the stun target extra heals, otherwise the comp will be messed up. So 129 speed, exactly as mentioned on the Deadwood Jedi sheet, 52k HP. Notice those numbers when we compare to other champs, and almost 1950 defense. Okay, accuracy is a bit low. His debuff extension, his HP burn and weaken depending on his accuracy, so it should be around the 250 mark. But like I said, I just built the team. I'll try to enhance these numbers. And of course, well, Bulwark won't do any damage because his damage is based on defense. If you wanted him to do more damage, you'll mess up the comp. But important numbers here, speed has to be exactly 129, accuracy 250 if you can get there, HP more than the Painkeeper. Here I have it like 52k and 1900 defense. Okay. Painkeeper, second most important one in that comp. You notice here she's 45k HP. So like 7k less than him. That's a good range. The ranges for HP and defense differences, it's not fixed, so you can play with them a little bit, but the further you go from the percentage mentioned on Deadwood Jedi's site, the more probability that the comp won't work. So I've got 50 on Bulwark, 52 actually, I've got 45k here, almost 2.2k defense, so like 300 more than Bulwark, or 250, 223 speed, exactly what we need here, no variation needed. For Painkeeper, it doesn't matter. If you can give, she doesn't do enough damage anyways, but if you can give her crit rate and crit damage, she might be able to do a little bit more damage. Hold on. Important thing, and I'm glad I remember it, masteries is very important for that team. Yeah, I'm not blocking anything. So these are the masteries I've put on him. Some of them don't make sense. So what are the main masteries you want for an unkillable team? This one, because doing more damage when you have less HP, because that's what the team will do all the time. The accuracy ones and the debuff extension ones. I've put here the refresh because it doesn't matter for Bulwark. You cannot have this on Painkeeper or Maneater. Decreasing the cooldown of their skills will completely mess up the comp. Yeah. What you want to avoid on your stun target. This one and anything that's related on all of your champs. First of all, in all of your champs, you got this mastery, increasing turn meter when a buff, increasing turn meter when a debuff falls off. These two are a big no-no. You don't want this. You can use this one if you need it. If you're using speed sets or whatever to tune the team, anything that manipulates the turn meter or the scaled cooldown, let's make it generic to make it easier. You want to avoid. If the champ has debuffs, give him the accuracy ones. War Master or Giant Slayer is very important to increase the damage here. And this specific one is prohibited for the stun target because it will mess up how much he's healing. Okay? So that's Bulwark. For Painkeeper, What are her masteries? Again, similar ones all the way to here. Anyone except for the stun target. We don't mind if they get this one to give them a bit more healing. This one as well, they'll do damage anyway. Choosing this path, like if you have enough HP on Painkeeper, if you're okay with the HP defense range, you can pick up what we'll see on Maneater in a sec. But this one, this specific mastery, is considered one of the older content creators that stopped making content for the game. His name is BGE. His videos are still out there. Some of them are still good and valid. So this specific mastery, Steadfast, it's a clan boss, considered it an extra buff. So it will decrease the possibility of your Painkeeper getting stunned. So that's why I picked it, just to be sure. These ones doesn't make any difference. Like the only ones that matters here, and also same, avoid picking any turn meter manipulation one. Any cooldown affecting ones are completely prohibited for Painkeeper. Again, the numbers just to show you important ones. HP less than by a bit our stun target bulwark, defense 300 more, the exact speed that's needed here. Let's go to Maneater. What do we want with Maneater? He's the fastest on the team, so probably you'll need speed sets. So you need this. My gear is not crazy, but still I achieved it even without all speed sets. So you can too. So you want that exact speed. You see here, his HP again is like almost 7-8k or less than bulwark. That's important. His defense is much more. That's exactly what we need. You want to avoid having accuracy on Maneater, especially if you have poisoners on the team. Why is that? Because on his A1, he applies decrease attack. And if you have poisoners, someone to put decrease down and weaken, you want those debuffs to be on the clan boss. Decrease attack doesn't make any sense because you're unkillable anyway. So, that's what you want to focus on. Maneater hits hard. So if you can get him to 70 or 100% crit rate and some crit damage and add some attack, I think his damage is built on attack, so he can do a considerable amount of damage. But once you get to these stats, don't mess up with the HP, defense, and speed. And if you can add attack, crit rate, and crit damage, that will increase your damage. Let's go into the masteries. Again, no turn meter manipulating one. This is the perfect set of masteries to have on everyone except for the stun target. You don't want this one, okay? Why is this? You're increasing the amount of counter attacks they do. And this one increased defense, so you want this on everyone except for the stun target. If you have the whole team in this, except this one and this one are not for the stun target, you'll do more attacks and you'll do more damage there. Like I said, always War Master on Giant Slayer on them. Who do we have left? Acresia. She's already in the same build. So, for my two other DPS, and that doesn't make a difference for the Unkillable comp, I've put them in lifesteal. That's for other content in the game. It's not required here. You see here, her HP is way lower. That's fine. Her defense is high enough. 180 speed to the dot, 100% crit rate. I can use some more crit damage. And she needs accuracy unless you have a 6-star for the Brimstone to fall. But like I didn't build her with accuracy, whatever. So the important thing here, if you're building champs specifically for the clan boss, you don't need lifesteal, you need the numbers below bulwark and Painkeeper and everything we've been saying. If they are attack based, if you can give them more attack and more crit damage instead, go for that. That will increase your damage. If it's a Draco and you want the poisons, you give them more accuracy as well. Lifesteal is not needed. Like I said, I had it for other parts in the game, and it doesn't matter. It won't hurt. You can have whoever you want in lifesteal except for the stun target. So here again, Akmatum, 38k HP and 2.7k defense. Good HP and defense. Relatively important thing is that they are much less than Painkeeper and Bulwark. Attack, crit damage, and crit rate and crit damage are not good. Speed needs to be exactly 188. Accuracy 218. We need more accuracy. on the cat. So like I said, areas of enhancement, make sure that HP and defense and speed are not touched. They are in tune with the team, as we keep explaining. You can put crit rate, crit damage, and accuracy later on to increase uh, the comp's damage. Okay, that's it. I hope you liked it. Just to recap, this is Deadwood Jedi's page. I'll link it with a very brief description with the video. Important things that I've done, that's why I'm calling it super on top of ultimate budget, is that no gear swapping is required. That used to be a thing back in the day when we couldn't get the speeds right between Ultra Nightmare and Nightmare. So, no gear swapping, no stun target change, and no DPS change because I have them all as voids. That's what I added to that comp. I hope this video was helpful to you to help you understand how unkillable teams work and hopefully help you build yours as well. And yeah, I'll see you next time.